everyone, welcome to this updated video this morning. I trust and hope that you're doing really good. We're going to be looking at what is happening in the North Atlantic Basin. So the model trends continue in terms of seeing Western Caribbean development and even something potentially moving into the Gulf. So that is for next week. And with these continued trends, I'm expecting that very soon the National Hurricane Center will be highlighting the area as an area to watch. But there's Tropical Depression Gordon out there, and what was previously known as potential Tropical Cyclone 8 has moved in. So it failed to fully acquire tropical storm status, so it wasn't a tropical storm as per the National Hurricane Center. So as much as it produced those tropical storm force winds, brought its impacts, it didn't fully reach the threshold to be considered as such. As a result, the next name on the list is still Helene. So looking at the vicinity of the Caribbean, though, as we zoom in here, we can see that there is some shower and thunderstorm activity around, especially across some of our northern islands, the Cayman Islands. Even in parts of Haiti earlier, we see that blob moving off to the west. We'll see if that increases the rainfall for Jamaica later this morning. And also, as we look to the vicinity of the Lesser Antilles, the Windward Islands in particular, earlier in St. Lucia, there was some thunderstorm activity. Now there's probably some rain, and we can see more and more of this convection streaming in. So it's likely to be a pretty wet day for some of our Lesser Antilles. And then it's active in parts of northern South America, as well as southern Central America, especially just offshore Panama, Costa Rica, and in parts of Nicaragua. So we're going to be looking at the rainfall forecast. As we switch to it right now, we can see all of these colorful shadings around. More color indicates more rain expected. So in parts of Florida and even the Bahamas this morning, there is some shower activity. So there's likely to be some more as we head throughout today. Turks and Caicos likely to remain a bit on the dry side. Same thing for most of the Dominican Republic and parts of Puerto Rico. But then as we head to a few spots in Haiti, there could be some additional showers. Same thing for Jamaica, especially those thunderstorms popping up in the afternoon hours. And then for the Cayman Islands, Cuba, there could definitely be some action later today. As we know, for Central America, it remains active. Same thing as we saw, there's already some activity in parts of northern Colombia and Venezuela. But then for the ABC Islands, there may be a few showers around, but that rainfall chance is still quite low. And it's a similar thing for the Guyanas. Guyana, Suriname, French Guiana, not seeing much color at all. So there's likely to be very little to no rainfall across the area today. As for the Lesser Antilles, especially going to Grenada, Grenadines, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, Martinique, Barbados, there's likely to be some more substantial rain as all that activity streams in. May not be as much for Tobago and parts of Trinidad, but there could be some downpours just the same. As we head up to Dominica, Guadeloupe, a few showers may pass by. Things get a bit drier as we head further north, but a stray shower is definitely going to be possible throughout today. So that is in terms of the rainfall forecast, guys. And we want to go ahead and also talk about the latest for Gordon, just for the sake of mentioning it. So it is not a threat to land, as I've highlighted in previous videos. It's out there by itself, sustaining winds up to 35 miles per hour and moving very slowly right now at 3 miles per hour. Now it is going to be making its way up to the north and may re-strengthen since a bit more conducive environment is ahead of it, so it may re-strengthen to a tropical storm. So it's been a tropical depression for a while now, but again, not a problem for anyone. The next area of interest is likely to be the Western Caribbean, as I've highlighted at the start of the video. So we're going to be looking at what the models are showing as it pertains to development. So we're seeing some consistent trends, and that is why I mentioned that I'm expecting that sooner or later the National Hurricane Center is going to be highlighting the area as an area to watch. Let's go ahead and start out with the GFS model. So these black squiggly lines you're seeing are called isobars, and they join areas of equal atmospheric pressure. When we see them in a in a circular manner being tightly packed, that is indicating strengthening, and especially with that value highlighted in red, decreasing, that is for the minimum central pressure. As for the colors around, the green shadings, the yellows, the oranges, that is representing the precipitation rate. So there we have the time up there. This is from Monday the 23rd of September, and we can see that area of low pressure in the northwestern Caribbean and likely some increased rain in parts of the different countries there, such as Jamaica, maybe even the Cayman Islands, Central America. So that is for next Monday that GFS is showing, and as we head later to Wednesday, The model is expecting that the system will be moving around a little bit slowly and intensifying in the Northwest Caribbean, showing, as we see the pressure going down, we see more isobars in that circular manner. So that is indicative of strengthening. Pressure has dropped to around 992 millibars, so maybe a strong tropical storm or weak hurricane at that point. And then GFS expects the system to cross into the eastern Gulf of Mexico and intensify on its way to the Gulf Coast. By the end of next week, on Saturday, it is showing what appears to be a major hurricane en route to the Gulf Coast. So that is what the GFS is showing. Let's go on to the Canadian model. Canadian model also showing development as we head into Monday of next week, the 23rd of September. And there we see that airflow pressure and increased rainfall around. The Canadian model shows a similar trajectory of the system compared to what we saw with GFS, but it's not showing a system as strong, showing it a little bit weaker, but nonetheless expecting a hurricane in the eastern Gulf. And then as for the Euro model, Euro is not showing much, and Euro is one of our more conservative models. So it is not showing too much. Definitely that increase in rain. We see all of those green shadings around. And then as we head to Friday, Thursday evening of next week, at that time, we're seeing sort of a broad low pressure area, but something definitely trying to get itself together, taking on a similar track. And then for the ICON model, ICON keeps this as a broad area of low pressure a bit further west towards Central America. So we can see the trends. All of these models are hinting at least that we will be seeing development in the Western Caribbean. And that is definitely not something questionable at this point, because we're in that phase of the hurricane season where the Caribbean is very, very favorable, and even the Gulf as well. So as we look at the sea surface temperature map, we can see 31 degrees, even up to 32 in a few spots. In the northwestern Caribbean and even the Gulf of Mexico, normally tropical cyclones require at least 26 degrees Celsius. So we're well above that mark in terms of the ocean temperatures. And not only is it warm at the surface, but it is warm beneath the surface. So that allows for a lot of energy to be there. And that is what even helps to fuel rapid intensification once other conditions are favorable. So the sea surface temperatures are definitely well on their way. And also with limited dry air intrusions and land interaction, we can't leave out the land interaction, because if it's going to be something that's constantly interacting with, say, Central America, that is going to be helping it to stay as a weak system. But the downside of that, even though yes, it will keep the system weak, it may be a crazy rainmaker and result in widespread flooding. So that may be a concern. So there is nothing fully solid just yet, guys. We don't even have an area marked, but as I said, I'm expecting that very soon with these trends continuing. So we definitely have to keep our eyes on the Caribbean for next week, because we could very well see something develop, and a long-term hurricane or a major hurricane is certainly not out of the picture. So I'm here to keep you guys updated though on all that is going on across the tropics. And that is essentially what I wanted to share with you in this update video. So I do hope you found it to be informative. But if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them down in the comments. I'll respond when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weatherwise.